For years, people have claimed the NBA is rigged. Just this week, Rudy Gobert openly threw up the money sign in Scott Foster's face. After the game, he suggested referees are influenced by sports betting. A huge claim to make without any proof. He just feels that way. But did you know actual proof of cheating came out 15 years ago but went under the radar? I'm not talking about the Tim Donaghy scandal. This was years after that. But the NBA quietly swept this one under the rug. The real question, what evidence do we have it still happens today? In January 1997, the Lakers were in Vancouver playing the Grizzlies, and Nick Van Exel dropped an amazing 23 assists. Beautiful dimes to Shaq and rookie Kobe. At the time, it was the 8th highest assist game in NBA history, and just one off Magic Johnson's franchise record. It was also a complete lie. It is always a good feeling when I am already a customer of a sponsor like me and Element. I exercise almost every day and I've used Element for a long time. It's a zero sugar electrolyte drink mix made because research shows optimal health outcomes occur at sodium levels 2 to 3 times what the government recommends. And when electrolyte levels are right, you get fewer headaches, maintain steady energy throughout the day, and my favorite, better sleep. If you sweat, it's even more important, like Bradley Beal, a huge proponent of Element, but it's for non-NBA players too, like me. I mean, I lift weights, I don't sweat that much. So no surprise, Element is an official sponsor of the USA Olympic lifting team. Or, you know, moms or exercise people, sauna buffs, whatever. So you can get a free Element sample pack with any order just purchased through drinkelement.com/amhoops. Check the link in the description. If it's not for you, no problem. Money back, no questions asked. They have a very low return rate and a very high reorder rate, but if you need it, their amazing customer service has you covered. So that's drinkelement.com/amhoops. In 2009, an anonymous user named Alex made a post on an NBA forum called Scorekeeper's Story. In it, he claims to have completely made up official NBA stats. He was the Vancouver Grizzlies scorekeeper, but because I'm a Laker fan, I gave Nick Van Exel like 23 assists one game. If he was vaguely close to a guy making a shot, I found a way to give him an assist. Afterwards, I fully expected someone to talk to me about it, and indeed they did. A senior management guy said, "Great job, Alex. That'll get this game on SportsCenter tomorrow." So he was encouraged to fake stats to get more attention for the league. Sure enough, people went back to the tape and were shocked. Van Exel passes to Kobe here, who clearly goes into an ISO bucket, but Van Exel got the assist. Alex said this wasn't just in Vancouver. You have about 40 intentional errors per game by the home scorekeeper. By intentional errors, I mean events that never happened, like rebounds or fake blocks, steals and assists, or events that are awarded to the wrong player on purpose. 40 fake stats per game? What does that mean for other NBA records? Is all of NBA history potentially a lie? Well, first, you have to look at which stats the scorekeeper can even fake. Alex said he had the most influence on assists and blocks, but steals and rebounds could be fake too. The way to get a guy an extra rebound is if a shot goes up and someone tips it and someone else recovers it, you can give it to either one. Dennis Rodman would get those all the time. What if Byron Scott retrieves it? Byron doesn't need the rebound. In fact, Alex says that's how he learned to give fake stats. He was at an NBA training in Detroit and they showed the class a clip of the Utah Jazz. Stockton dumps it to Malone, who slows down, dribbles, maybe a pump fake. Was that an assist or isolation? Alex said ISO. Everyone else said, of course it was an assist. It's John Stockton. So they not only faked stats, but they helped superstars. The league pressured us to protect and enhance the stats of elite players. For example, Stockton got between 1 and 2 assists per game for free. And it turns out, Stockton set his career high for assists in 1988 at home against the Blazers. He then broke it again in 1991 at home. So you look at all-time records like Scott Skiles getting a still record 30 assists in one game for the Magic at home. The record for most blocks in a game, Elmore Smith, 17 at home. Are these even real records? Don't tell me Michael Jordan is involved. He is. In 1988, MJ won Defensive Player of the Year. It's one thing that Jordan fans bring up in the GOAT discussion. Hey, LeBron didn't win Defensive Player of the Year. Well, in that year, Jordan had 259 steals, 165 at home, 94 on the road. He had 131 blocks, 84 at home, 47 on the road. Right in the era the NBA was trying to pump up players, their biggest young star wins Defensive Player of the Year as a guard. But Alex said this cut both ways. One time a Hall of Famer called him out. I got out by an Atlanta management guy because he felt I hadn't hooked Dikembe Mutombo up with enough blocks. Because I hadn't. I didn't like him. I thought he was a bit of a punk. About 5 minutes later, Mutombo walked out for pregame warm-ups. He proceeded to glare at me for about a minute, which in my opinion is a long time for a gigantic man to glare at you. But that was nothing. The worst owner in the NBA was Donald Sterling of the Clippers. He used this system against his own players for a nasty reason. Between 1987 and 2009, home teams assisted on about 62% of their buckets. Away teams 59%. But for the Clippers, it was the opposite. In 96, for example, the Clippers scorekeeper gave them assists on 47% of the time at home, but on the road they did it 60%. That's 13% better on the road. Unheard of. Sterling did it to suppress his own players' stats, so it was less likely they'd be all-stars to go cheap on their contracts. But the real question is, does this still happen? Well, we actually have an answer. Last year, a Reddit user said Jaren Jackson Jr. was suspiciously better at home than on the road. He also posted smoking gun examples of Triple J getting fake blocks and steals. The post caused Adam Silver to have an emergency meeting in New York 24 hours later, but it turned out the poster was wrong. Media people like Kevin O'Connor looked at replays that showed Triple J did deserve his stats. In fact, he probably wasn't getting enough credit. The NBA changed how they collect stats around 2010, and now it's almost impossible for one man to fake stats. And when you look at home road blocks, the easiest stat to fake, the gap was huge, but started to shrink around the time of Alex's post. Now, it's practically non-existent. The NBA has killed their fake stat controversy. I think this post made it to the league office, but in 2009, social media wasn't really a thing. The original post was on something called apbrmetrics.com, a random site for NBA nerds. If this post happened now on Reddit, it would be huge. The scandal would rock the NBA, outing it as rigged for stars. That's probably why the NBA got so scared when the Triple J controversy popped up. Adam Silver probably said in New York, "I thought we fixed this years ago and no one noticed. How is it happening again?" But the league got lucky. This happened in 2009 and they quickly swept it under the rug. It does make you feel bad for guys like Rajon Rondo, who once got 25 assists in a game in 2017. If that happened 20 years before, Rondo would probably have the all-time record. By the way, we found out who the anonymous Alex was. Tom Haberstroh bought a 1997 Grizzlies media guide on eBay for $5. It said the scorekeeper was Alex Rucker, a now famous analytics guy who ended up helping run the Sixers before Daryl Morey got there. But Alex got his start as the scorekeeper for the 97 Vancouver Grizzlies, an expansion team who was especially prone to faking stats. Rucker apologized on camera, but said he was just the only one who had the guts to admit it. And I actually admire how he handled being confronted by Tom Haberstroh.
I was immature. I handled things in a way that I certainly wouldn't today. But no, that's just a part of my life journey, right? Like, with all due respect, you put a 20-year-old in charge of anything and you're playing with fire, so.
If you put a 20-year-old in charge of official NBA stats, who's actually at fault there? So it makes sense after they got caught why the NBA changed how they keep stats. Now, the Triple J controversy is actually one of my favorite videos on this channel. Even though it was debunked, it's pretty cool to revisit how one NBA fan could shake up the entire league with a post on Reddit.